हेलो एंड वेलकम टू पैसा लाइव। हमारे साथ है शर्वया मेटल्स लिमिटेड के प्रमोटर सीए श्रांस कटारिया और आज हम इनसे बात करने वाले हैं अपकमिंग आईपीओ के ऊपर एंड व्हाई रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स शुड अप्लाई फॉर दिस आईपीओ। कंपनी की क्या ग्रोथ अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, क्या चैलेंजेस हैं और क्या कंपनी की आईपीओ से लेकर एक्सपेक्टेशंस है। सर, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वेलकम टू आवर शो।
Thank you.
Sir, as we can see, it's almost a decade that the company has been incorporated. So, what is the objective of coming up with an IPO now?
So the company is expanding at full pace. So recently, the company has ventured into electric vehicle segment, and it provides its product to various electric vehicle manufacturers and electric battery manufacturers. So we provide a lot of materials to various OEMs, tier one vendors of electric vehicle manufacturers for their battery parts. So now company has come up with IPO with a view to cater to this industry because we see a lot of potential in this industry. And not only in this industry, we look at constructions also, defense also, to go in, and India being a very good opportunity as of now. Currently, we have planned for this IPO.
So, as we can see, the company started with a core business almost a decade back. But you said that the company is also doing great into the sector of electric vehicle manufacturing, components, etc. So, how has the core business evolved in the past 7 to 8 years, and what is the new vision for the company for the next 2 to 3 years?
So initially, the company started with catering to the automobile industry for the aluminum alloyed ingots, which is basically the raw material for automobile companies to manufacture their vehicles. So we entered into the automobile space long back, and strategically we ventured into high precision electric vehicle battery housings, which is the need of today's automobile industry. And looking at the growth in past 5 to 6 years, even during COVID, we have exported a lot of raw materials from here to China and Middle East countries and Europe. And looking at the future, electric vehicle, with the government coming up with the exports for this export orientation for this electric vehicles, we look at very good market for next 5 years, and we look at a growth of around 20% year on year.
We all know that India is going and with an immense pressure because of the tariffs. And your company is one of such that is actually exporting raw material for the industry. So, do you think that this pressure of tariff is also going to impact your company's business, and also the financials in the longer run, or maybe in the current financial year?
I don't think so. I look at it as an opportunity. It would be an opportunity for the company to grow. And we basically focus on the domestic market rather than the international market. And tariff issues will subside eventually. And we have no exposure to the US market. So, as it is, it won't impact the company.
You mentioned that the exposure to domestic market is more than the international market. So when we talk about the domestic market, which area or which domains of the market your exposure is really high? For example, probably you would be supplying to North India, Eastern states, Southern states, Western states. Where is your penetration too high?
We have penetrated Western market as of now because the automobile market is mostly located in the western side of the country. We have penetrated into the western side, but definitely the OEMs here have their plants all across the India. So we are supplying to the western side, but in turn it goes to the all over India.
Any big names which are a part of your clientele, if you want to share any?
So Bajaj Auto Limited is one of the big clients which we supply to. And apart from that, we have Exide Energy Solutions Limited and Dhoot Automotive Systems. Also, we supply to Bharat Electronics Limited.
So your presence is also with the PSUs.
Right.
So we have been seeing the company's financial, and we can see that the revenue and PAT, profit after tax, both have gained strength in the past 2 financial years. So what is your vision for the revenue for the current financial year?
So, for the current year, the revenue would be, we would be crossing around 150 crores of revenue, with the EBITDA margins of around 17 to 20%, and with the PAT of around 10 to 15%.
10 to 15%. And what
Right.
figures do you of PAT do you expect to reach in the current financial year?
Would be around 15 to 20 crores.
So, whenever there's an IPO open in the market, retail investors are definitely very eager to know about the growth and the vision of the company. Since you mentioned that you are going deeper in the EV sector, so what are the core areas that you're going to focus in the next 5 years, which you haven't even touched yet? Because the market is evolving at a rapid rate.
So when we talk about the electrical vehicle segment, basically, so we would be looking at total battery housing, which is our current portfolio. The swappable batteries would be our market. Then the motor body sections, which are required for the motors, that we would be doing. And apart from that, not we are not only focusing on the EV segment, but definitely on the construction side, on the scaffolding side, we look at a huge market for the formwork templates which are currently used in the industry for the construction of various buildings, high-rise buildings which are coming up. So it has reduced the execution time by one tenth of the traditional time which was required. So I see a very huge market for our expansions in the coming years. And we also see defense as one of the sectors which would be coming up heavily on.
So, if we specifically talk about the defense sector, what is the company going to contribute to the sector, and what would be the role that the company is going to play?
Yeah, so we are looking at the machine components for various defense equipments which are required. I would share the details later on. Uh, but for sure, we are working with various companies very closely to have our materials in their portfolio. Yeah.
So, this was it about the company's growth and opportunities, but let's also talk about the risk involved and the challenges the company is facing right now. Are there any prominent challenges or the risk that the company is facing, and any retail investor should know? It could be debt, it could be heat of the competition or anything.
Currently, only the thing that worries us is the dollar rates, which are fluctuating. So, of course, that impacts our raw material prices. But definitely, I think it would subside over the period. I don't look at it as a very serious challenge.
When we also talk about the exports, since you mentioned that the rate of the dollar usually impacts the cost of the raw material, when we also talk about the export market, so apart from US, what are the other markets that you're already dealing with?
So we have dealt with China market, Middle East, European markets, and currently we are focusing specifically on the domestic market because India's growth story is huge.
So, is there any debt that the company has and has plans to repay from the money that company raises from IPO?
No, no. We are a very low level company, so we don't have much debt. Our debt coverage, interest coverage ratio is high, which is 11 times. And I don't see it as a challenge. We are not levered much. So it would be definitely helping us for expanding our businesses and keeping our top lines higher.
So what are the company's plans? What do you plan to do with the money you raised from the IPO? What is the objective?
Yeah, so we are expanding. Our capex spans to 25 crores. So we will be building huge business out of the investors' money. So we are not repaying any debt or so. We are just putting in the money for the expansions of the company.
And would you like to elaborate on this expansion?
So we would be doing a capex of around 25 crores, and we will be putting up a extrusion line. And we are sure that our order book will be full in next 2 years.
Shreyans, I think the opportunities in the sectors you mentioned, defense sector, EV sector, both of these sectors are crucial for any country's growth. And I think the company is going to do brilliant at both these sectors. And as you also mentioned that the company's future and their demand and their supplies, they are very well focused in the domestic market, which of course keeps it safe from the geopolitical pressure, from the economic crisis, global economic crisis like tariff, etc. So I think the company's future lies in safe hand, and so can be the retail investors' money. And we hope that the retail investors have got all their answers regarding the IPO. Thank you so much, Shreyans, and thank you so much, our viewers and also our retail investors who plan to invest in this IPO. I think by now you must have got all your questions answered direct from the promoter itself. Well, thank you so much for joining the show. Thank you so much, Rans, for joining with us.